Brian Pinelli with Team USA. Question for Grant. Grant, Park City, Utah is considered America's winter sports capital. We found out about a week ago that the Winter Olympic Games are coming back to Park City, Utah in 2034. You made a big decision to relocate and move to the mountains and train at altitude. And I know you said it was, it was a little bit of a daunting move. Talk a little bit about coming to Park City, training at altitude, and how much that training, since I believe you moved in the fall, has helped you to get where you are tonight with a bronze medal around your neck.
Yeah, totally. I've been close to the medals before, but I've never gotten one until today. And I made a big change a year ago, and one of the pieces to that change was to move to Park City and spend more time at altitude. That was one piece of the puzzle that bumped me up 1 second over the course of a 10K, and I think it was a big piece. You look at everyone that medals in the 10K year after year. Pretty much everyone lives at altitude. They don't live at sea level and do camps at altitude. So, yeah, I moved up there, and it's been fantastic. It's a beautiful place. There's great community, and the training is great, and I love it. I could see myself staying there for a really long time, and yeah, I'm proud to live there now, and it's worked out so well. So, yeah, that was one piece of the puzzle. And there's talks about cross country being brought into the Winter Olympics. So I guess in 2034 I'm going to be a little old, but maybe I could get a legacy spot on the cross country team or something. But yeah, it's fun. I rub shoulders with the skiers, snowboarders, skaters a lot more than the summer athletes, and it's a fun change.
Jonathan Gold from Let'sRun.com. Question for Grant. Congratulations. You mentioned pieces of the puzzle. Moving to Park City was one of them. What do you think were the other pieces of the puzzle, the differences between 5th and 4th in your previous finals to the medal tonight?
Yeah, I think to summarize the change I made a year ago, it was just to optimize everything I could. One piece was to optimize my altitude plan. One piece was to just individualize my training a little better. Switching coaches was a piece of that. Implementing different ideas in training, a lot more threshold work, a lot more choosing high frequency of workouts over high intensity of workouts. A lot more lactate testing. Trying to hone in everything that I could, and there are things that I left behind by making a change. I had fantastic training partners, and I've kind of pieced it together. Matt Centrowitz has been a great training partner and mentor over the past year, and but other than that, they've been few and far between. So yeah, little things. Altitude is a piece, training locations a piece, generally being happy in my whole setup is a piece, the coaching is a piece. All those things add up, and so many things have to go right over the course of a year to get on the podium, and I'm happy that they did.
Joshua, as the victory lap was ending, and you kind of like put your arm around Grant, what did you tell him in that moment?
Yeah, for me, it's so exciting to see that to witness that Grant also was part of the medalists today, and when I looked at his toes and he was like wounded, and it was he really fought for it. And what is so amazing is that he's been always number 4, and then it was worth rewarding today, and congratulating him, of course, for being one of for really winning really a hard-fought medal, because really it's really special to see some of these young guys come up and step up and inspire a lot of young boys out there. It's really amazing. And for me, I told him, yeah, this is my last year on the track, and I told him, yeah, you got it next year and other championships, you have to win, man. Yeah, that was our talk, of course. Yeah.
Weldon, do you have a question?
Coley Harvey, ESPN. Grant, can you just put into words the moment of that last 100 when you guys are really pushing for the end? You're kind of making a little bit of ground. The crowd, I'm sure you guys couldn't really hear because you're so locked in, but the crowd seemed really into it too. Can you just kind of put into words what that last 100 meters was for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's you replay that situation over and over in your head in the lead up. I was injured last year when the World Championships were going on, and I really wanted to get back to the global stage. And these races always come down to the last lap, and specifically the last 100 meters. And to be in position and fighting, and you're riding the line the whole race, but that last 100 meters, you can see your goal right in front of you. I can count to three. Everyone in that race can count to three, and this sport is defined by top three. And I've been outside of that every time up until today. So, yeah, I've seen 1, 2, 3 slip away from me before, but today I managed to get it. So it feels really good. These guys have been on the podium before. This is my first time. So, so many things have to come together to get that to happen. I think my margins were probably a little more slim than these guys today. I think the race could have gone a lot of different ways, and they would have gotten on the podium. But I needed to execute a pretty spotless race. So I wanted to be in good position the whole time, and I don't have the lights out speed to make up a ton of ground instantly. So I needed to be in a good position, and I think it worked out well.
Hello, David Aldridge with The Athletic. Grant, I wanted to know, it appeared like you may have stumbled with about 9 laps to go, and I'm just wondering what happened there. And then also, I don't know if you saw Billy Mills had said that he thought you had a great chance to win this race, and I didn't know if you had seen that, and if you had any reaction to that.
Yeah, so for the first part of your question, yeah, I stumbled. I don't know exactly how far it was in, but it was decently late in the race. I think we might have been lapping someone, and there was just a lot of movement, and I got clipped up and stumbled. I stepped on the rail and managed to stay up, but I lost a few positions. But it's a 10K, so you have enough time to recover, and it was a little rattling for a second. Just to, if you go back and rewatch the race, you could probably see my tactic was just to stay roughly in those medal positions the whole race, and so that was kind of my plan. And then all of a sudden, boom, I was in like 8th. So stuff like that happens. You got to keep your cool. To the Billy Mills part, I did not see that. Probably a good thing. Don't need to put too much pressure on the situation. I met Billy Mills when I was a sophomore in high school. He gave a speech at the Michigan High School Coaches Association banquet, and I was there. And so I have a T-shirt that's signed by Billy Mills from when I was a kid. So he's one of the few people that have stood on top of the podium in the men's distance races for the U.S. So really inspiring. He has a great story. And I'm happy to kind of continue that legacy a little bit and get a medal for the U.S.
Yeah, Grant, I guess I wanted to follow up on that. Like, it's very hard to win an Olympic medal. Not a lot of American distance runners have done it. I mean, what does it mean to you to be part of a group that includes guys like Billy Mills, Frank Shorter, Meb Keflezighi, Matthew Centrowitz? Now you're part of that group. Yeah,
It's rare. It's something I've always been on the outside looking in with the medals, and when I was a kid, Billy Mills was like one of the few guys, like you said, that have made it to the top. Gillen Rupp, one of the few that made it to the top. Evan Jager, Matt Centrowitz. There's a handful of guys that have made it to the top 3, but they're few and far between. And so, like, I guess in recent years, Chelimo as well, but the narrative when I was a kid was like the U.S., you just can't run with the East African guys. You can't run with the best European guys. And, I hope I showed that I'm capable of that. My very first international competition at the senior level was the Olympics in Tokyo. And I remember I lined up right next to Joshua, and he had just broken the world record in the 10K and the 5K. And I remember I just PR'd in the 10K, and I ran 27:11, which was exactly a minute slower than he had just run. And I was like, how am I supposed to race this guy? He's a minute faster than me. And I think in the past 3 years, my mindset has shifted a lot, that I kind of belong in these positions more, and I've become a better athlete, but my mindset has shifted too. And I hope that people can see that as my mindset shifts, so should everybody in the U.S. as well. People are capable of great things, and you have to put yourself in the positions and believe in yourself in order for good things to happen. And I think I did that today.